Welcome back. We are back for another episode of clipping shorts, clipping short form, taking podcasts into clips so you can use them for your social media or if you're working with clients. But I'm just trying to demonstrate how easy it is. Yesterday, I went through from beginning and from going from a YouTube video. So if you missed that, if you want to go back to it, but basically, we were here, right? So if you want if you want to work on a video, you can go to a Zoom link. So you got Twitch, you got YouTube. So if you go to a YouTube link, copy and then paste it in here. So earlier today, I edited the video I did yesterday. That was my first video. Today is day 2. And I realized that OBS, because I use OBS to screen record, and I think I mentioned it yesterday that OBS is free, and I thought maybe I had to use Loom, which you have to pay for. It only allows like up to, I think, 5 minutes of video. This is pretty much unlimited, and we also use it here in the studio to record podcasts. But yeah, it's great. I took my footage over to CapCut, and this is what I did. I just cleaned up whatever was like dead space, and then like right here, I was letting the video play. But there was no sound. But today I fixed it. And if you're not using any kind of AI tool to help you, it makes my life so much easier. I'm not so much tech savvy. And then if I Google something, then you have to go in Reddit pages and follow like the questions and the answers. And I just need like right away, what is the answer? And I figured out how to get sound from my screen through OBS. There's something, if you have a Mac, I'm a Mac user. I love Mac. I've been using Mac for 20 something years. When I had my first computer, when I joined the Navy, that was the first thing I bought, and I just know Mac really well. I'm sure like the computer we use here is not Mac, so that's a little different for me, but here I know Mac. Black Hole works really well with Mac. So just look up Black Hole, and then it will say something like audio OBS. It's a great tool. But yeah, I just put a little music on it, very low. And yeah, it turned out to be like a 32-minute video. And as time goes on, I'm just hoping that these videos get better and easier for you. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment and then I can help you. And if I don't know the answer, I can get it for you. It might be through ChatGPT, I don't know. But it's just a really good tool. I'm not closed off to any other AI tool. Like there's Claude, there's all these other ones out there. I'm just used to ChatGPT. Like I'm a little bit routine, but I'm really comfortable with what I know. And for me to learn something new, I know I have to expand my mind for it. But ChatGPT is great. So this is if you go a little bit more into it. Uploading to YouTube. There's another. I'm gonna see if I can bring it up here for you. It's actually called vidIQ. So this is the back end this is YouTube Studio, the back end. Okay. So when I went ahead and I wanted to post my video from yesterday, it generated a thumbnail for me, and then it kind of gives you the suggestions on title. I got help from ChatGPT with my description, and then with like any hashtags. And then vidIQ is an extension that you can put on your Mac computer, and it will kind of give you a score of how well it's going to be optimized and against your competitors in that same area. So really my content mostly is going to be about making shorts, and not so much like if you watch a few of them, you're probably going to get down how it works. But also you just need to practice, right? Just practice. Get Opus clips, put your card down, and then just get to work in. And by the time you want to work on your own stuff, or if you have a client that needs help, you already know what you're doing. But those are just really good tools to use. Just makes your life easier, trust me. So let's go back to Opus Clips, okay? And let's go back to this one. So we already did this one, the first one. And you can kind of tell the difference, right? So you see here that this is broken up. You know that you've worked on this one. So if you ever have trouble like remembering, which video did I work on? Just look for this here, and it will show you this versus this is all together. right, altogether. So it just looks different. So number 2, another thing I didn't think I mentioned. So when you're working on a really good like interviewer, guest, host, and they speak well. So I imagine the score. Remember I said it was like 51, which is a lot. Because when I used to make clips off of a 1 hour live stream, maybe it would give me like 25, but then the score would really drop. Like, and this is a 91. So imagine like I was working, like by the time I got to like 20 something, it was 71, or yes, I usually work around the 70s out of 100. And that just really tells you like how strong it is. And it'll tell you here, the hook, the flow, the value, trend. But just keep in mind, you always have to go in there and fix it up a little bit. So like, even with the titles, usually I would either go with what either ChatGPT or vidIQ suggested as a title. I probably, sometimes, like maybe a handful of times, I went with the suggested one from Opus Clips. Okay, so yes, this is about teaching you how to do short form, but also like why, right? I'm really big on why. I'm big on like psychology of how people think, why they make decisions. So I'm just sharing you mine. So let's go into this one, edit clip. And if I talk a lot, I'm sorry. Usually I'm not a huge talker. Like if you know me, I observe a lot and talk. So for me to be on here and talking, it's kind of a big deal. But you know, maybe I can grow this more into just explanation, but just more about building a community. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay, let's play the video and see how it sounds. And so this is up here is kind of explaining the video, right? So let's play it.
We're in LA right now, right? We could walk out this door and drive for about 10 minutes in any direction and find a ketamine-fueled orgy. We could find women getting gangbanged. We could find dudes fucking each other. You could find people doing all sorts of insanity. None of them are being arrested. None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am.
So, whether you're a subscriber or not, if you just stumbled upon my video, I want to explain it as if this was the first time you saw it. So it might get boring for people that knows what they're doing, or they watch my other videos, which is fine. But so think of the hook, right? We're in LA right now. Okay, we're in LA. Is that a strong hook? What we can do is if there's anything maybe prior to this that he said that maybe is better, we can look at that, right? And another thing, one of the first things I do is I mess with the captions. And I showed this in my last video, and I'm gonna have to keep repeating myself, which is fine. But this needs to go up because everybody knows in short form that when he posted on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, there's always some stuff on the bottom that might not show that. So you always have to put it up. So with this, what you can do, he's sitting in a different position, okay, from the rest of this. So if we move this up here, okay, and then it moves over, okay, cool. Like, it will not cover his face. If it did, of course, you can just split it here, right where it changes, and then just move it. And it will stay, I guess, in this frame here. Okay, yeah, make sure you scroll up so you can see this down here, because that's important. So yeah, I said it in the last video. Okay, I'm just gonna stop repeating myself, but I usually just take off the hider because I just think it looks cleaner. I do like this font and the way it looks. I am a fan of just one line. So you got your presets here. You can change what it looks like. And for me, really it depends on who's talking and maybe their personality. But I feel that somebody like Tate, what's his name? Tate? That maybe just black and white is fine. So I did turn off the highlighter. Okay, so we're turning off the highlighter, and then there's effects, right? So when he's talking on the word, it's gonna change to this highlighter word color. so it will bounce a little bit when he's talking, right?
We could find women getting gangbanged. We could find dudes fucking each other.
So that's fine. I think in my last video, I took away, like, I put no effects on this. And so I can just, I either like none or like a little bounce, right? Because these other ones,
You could find people doing all sorts of
you could. It really just depends on your preference. That's the thing. Like, you can make it any way you want. For me, when there's too many options, I can't. I can't deal with it. So it's either got to be what it's defaulted to or none. That's just me. I think it looks clean. I think that looks great. So
We're in LA right now, right? We could walk out this door and drive for about 10 minutes in any direction and find a ketamine.
So as far as the captions, I like it. Okay. Then we can go to, okay, like, so let's just play all the way through.
Fueled orgy. We could find women getting gangbanged. We could find dudes fucking each other. You could find people doing all sorts of insanity. None of them are being arrested. None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am.
Okay, so it's a completed thought. If it wasn't, then of course you have to take stuff away, or you have to add things on, which sometimes happens. But let's just look. So you can add to what he's saying. Either you can move everything around if you wanted to. I usually just try to keep with like time, so I don't do a whole lot of changing around, but sometimes you have to for it to make sense. Maybe with another person it would make sense to do that, but you really have to just see whose voice are you talking or are you working on, right? So when you go to add a section, it would automatically hide something or highlight something. If you put add section on the bottom, it will highlight usually at the bottom. Okay, so let's do it from the top. Let's see if there's like a better hook. Okay, so you can also see in here that, okay, yeah, all right, never mind. So we can see kind of like what is the context of him, what is he saying. So you can highlight more, and then you can press over here and see.
Everyone I talk to about him says the same thing. His friends who he's with, no one likes that guy. And it's because he has this pattern of behavior, and it's not only me, it does it to everybody. So, yeah, I have a lot of guns aimed at my head, still to this day. And it's interesting considering I've never been convicted of any crime, and I actually never did anything wrong.
So what could possibly be a better hook is, I have a lot of guns aimed at my head still to this day. But he's saying this inside of a video. It's not a short. So if you were to post that with, that is the opening sentence, whoever you post it to, whatever platform you post it to, might not let you keep that because it's, what are you talking about? Like, that's the opening line, pointing guns at my head. So that is just, I mean, it could catch a lot of attention, but it's not really a hook that you would want to use. So let's see. I'm just gonna read through this. Everyone I talk to about him, same thing. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, we can keep we're in LA. Because the thing is this is supposed to make it easier, more efficient. If somebody is coming to you and wants you to do clips for them, because they want content, just know that every video is not gonna be a banger, right? You're gonna have to put a lot of, you want it to be good work, you want it to be quality, but also, like, if you could spend all day in here just scrolling and seeing, okay, well, maybe, you know, he did say something better way up here, and then I could probably use it, you know, down here. But, you know, the point is that it's supposed to be more efficient with your time. So I would say, okay, just keep this as your hook. We're in LA right now, and then let's see at the bottom. "2009 is okay." One thing I did wanted to say, and I think this is right. So if I add a section from the top, okay, but let's say it's something that he said down here, and I add it, see, it's going to add to the top of it. So that's why this matters, this one versus this one. So never mind, I don't want it. Just hit the back button. Okay, so add section down here, so at the bottom, and then okay, let's just see what he's saying here.
2009, assault. No, it's because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they know, they are very aware that they are trying to destroy Western society. They're trying to print as much money as possible so they can steal it. They're trying to bring in as many immigrants as possible to distract us so we fight against each other while they all escape on their life rafts. 2009.
So, sorry, let's go back. When it comes to the end of it, is there anything else worth putting in there? Because right now it's at 20 seconds. Do we have room? Yesterday's video I think was only like 12 seconds. So do we have room to add on? Do you want to make your videos at least 30-second clips? So sure, if you want to put something in there. So none of them are being targeted by the state, but I am. So maybe if this really matters, 2009 assault. If you wanted to make, even though maybe he says words out of order in the long form, for short form you can really clean it up to make it like, really make sense every line. So when he says none of them are being targeted by the state, but I am, because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. So that may be like a really good line. Or you could add this, maybe, no, I don't think really adding it anywhere else, but maybe just adding that. Here, let's go down a little bit more and see what else he says.
And they know that young men are the only ones who are going to stand up against them. And telling them to be strong and think for themselves is a national security threat. They're actually right. I'll admit my enemy is correct. Not so much now, but in 2022, I was a national security threat. I could have said burn down Westminster and it would have burnt down. And they know that
Okay. So what I like here is that maybe I'll use this all the way up into because. And then let's see how much extra time that gives us. Okay, 46 seconds. So it added 26 seconds. So you just have to give it time to download. Okay, so now that you have everything that you want out of this video, and then now keep in mind that you see how this was down here. Now this is down there. So that's up to here, and then this is down here. So what I found that's easier is if you highlight everything, okay, and then you kind of just move it just a little bit, all right, and then there. So now you have everything together. I right away use this, remove filters, there are none, and then AI enhance, go to remove pauses, and then it says there's 4 pauses. Okay, so let's see how that sounds from the beginning to end, and it shaved off 2 seconds.
We're in LA right now, right? We could walk out this door and drive for about 10 minutes in any direction and find a ketamine-fueled orgy. We could find women getting gangbanged, we could find dudes fucking each other, you could find people doing all sorts of insanity. None of them are being arrested. None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am, because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they know, they are very aware that they are trying to destroy Western society. They're trying to print as much money as possible so they can steal it. They're trying to bring in as many immigrants as possible to distract us so we fight against each other while they all escape on their life rafts. And they know that young men are the only ones who are going to stand up against them. And telling them to be strong and think for themselves is a national security threat.
Okay. I think that's a decent clip. There's people that are really good, really good at like short clips, and they've invested a lot of time and research on what does good and what doesn't. When you're just starting from scratch, like just do this, just do the basic, do the best you can, and then it will get easier with time. Even with me, I'm learning what does better and what doesn't. When you see the analytics from YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and it says, well, why did one video do better than the other? Don't compare yourselves to the people out there that are just been doing it for a long time. Like I said, I was doing it for a whole year, and I'm just sharing with you what I've learned so far. So one thing I wanted to point out is that transition from this clip to this clip, I felt like was a little too fast when he said because. So if you just click here, it will go to that timeline. So you know that the next one is this right here is going to be about when he says because.
We're in LA right now, right?
Yeah.
But I am, because I speak on the...
Okay, so he said because too soon or too fast. So let me give it like a little gap, right?
By the state. But I am, because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they know.
Something you can do is close your eyes, and then does it make sense when you hear it?
Are being arrested. None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am, because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for them.
So, right there, I think that's fine. It sounds better than when he went and, or it sounded better just previous, right? Now, like I said, AI tools are great, but they're not perfect. So, did cut him off at the beginning. Here, you don't really have to. It says it's a missing caption, but it doesn't really matter if there's really nothing that he did say, unless you want to put a word there, or it's just sometimes when you do that, when you make this longer, it might not catch the word. So you have to put the word in it. But in this case, no, there's no extra word that he said. It's just, it got cut off too soon. Okay. So yeah, these I use probably every time the most. If I don't like filler words. I think it's just more clean. Somebody saying or, and you have to pay attention. Sometimes these clips, they repeat themselves and you just take away what's not needed. Like I said, I'll try to go for a minute or lower when it's a really good piece that they said. Sometimes it's like a minute and 20 seconds and I'm in there trying to shave off, 20 seconds, and it might come from filler words, from pauses. You can go in there and says, well, you don't really need to say these things twice. But yeah, so I think that is a decent clip. Here, maybe I want to bring this down just a little bit, just whatever looks easier on the eye. So let's just play from beginning to end, and then let's see if we're happy with it.
We're in LA right now, right? We could walk out this door and drive for about 10 minutes in any direction and find a ketamine-fueled orgy. We could find women getting gangbanged. We could find dudes fucking each other. You could find people doing all sorts of insanity. None of them are being arrested. None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am, because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they know, they are very aware that they are trying to destroy Western society. They're trying to print as much money as possible so they can steal it. They're trying to bring in as many immigrants as possible to distract us so we fight against each other while they all escape on their life rafts. And they know that young men are the only ones who are going to stand up against them. And telling them to be strong and think for themselves is a national security threat.
Okay, just one thing I noticed is at the very end of the word threat, it's cut off just a little bit too soon. So let's go back and play it again.
And they know that young men are the only ones who are going to stand up against them. And telling them to be strong and think for themselves is a national security threat.
Okay, yeah. I think that sounds better. So, I don't know if you did also catch that this did that. You can leave it, or if you want it like just spot on, you could go back and see all the times that they showed him, that you see him in this position. You can highlight. See this? Okay, yeah. So it changes right here. So you can go back, right? And now crop 6 scenes, and you can just move it just a little bit. So now what it does is it grabs all the 6 scenes and it just syncs it all together. So it should be all one same, it doesn't move. If you want that kind of effect, you can do that.
We could find women getting gangbanged. We could find dudes fucking each other. You could find people doing all sorts of insanity. None of them are being arrested. None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am, because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they know, they are very aware.
Okay. Okay, so that got fixed. Something that happens to me is when you have extra time. So when I told you I was doing those clips for that crypto guy, I was doing 2 a day. If I felt really ambitious, I would do maybe 3 or 4 a day. Well, let's say I didn't get maybe one of those done, and then I would come back the next day and I would like listen to it again and I'm like, wow, I need to do a little bit more cleaning up, which maybe the first day when I was working on it, I would have been like, yeah, this is enough. But then going back to it like another time, it's like, wow, I need some more cleaning up. So sometimes that happens, like just me listening to it again with the word because, I still feel like it just needs a little bit more space. So let's see.
Being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am. It's because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they know, they are very...
Another thing to look at, so he had it was natural for him to take a breath before he spoke again. Sometimes you want to have that on there. When it seems too, like, words are back to back to back to back, but no, you have to understand when people are watching that, there might be like a little sense of anxiety because this guy is not taking a break when he's talking. So not you have to think naturally. What is the flow of someone talking? They take breaths in between a statement, right? So we can go through this one more time, and then we'll see if we like it.
We're in LA right now, right? We could walk out this door and drive for about 10 minutes in any direction and find a ketamine-fueled orgy. We could find women getting gangbanged. We could find dudes fucking each other. You could find people doing all sorts of insanity. None of them are being arrested. None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am. It's because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they know, they are very aware that they are trying to
Okay. So you see how he repeated himself? So that's up to you. If you want to keep it, because he says, and they know, and then he says again, are they aware? I would definitely take it out if I was trying to shave off time. So you can. So then you say, okay, well, does it sound better if he says, and they know, or are they aware? So this says, because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves, you can say they are very aware, or stick up for themselves and they know that they are trying to destroy. I like the word aware. It's just more of a powerful word, I think. So you can take off maybe this, remove caption and video, because if you just remove caption, it's going to keep what he said. So
because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they are very...
Okay, so you have to clean up this part. So you want to zoom in to that spot and then see. Okay, let's play it back.
The internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they are very...
So he's already saying from here, and they are very...
They are very...
Well, I guess it's not an and, but you can extend it. But if he's saying, and they know too fast, honestly, you could probably just take off the and then boom, right there.
Make young men stick up for themselves. They are very aware that they are...
So that doesn't really flow. So it's now you have to be like, okay, like if we can, let's put a little bit of a gap in between some words.
I make young men stick up for themselves. They are very aware that they are trying to destroy Western society.
Okay. So you see how maybe that is a little bit more concise. That's a little bit, it flows and it's shortened up. He's not really repeating himself. Sometimes, yeah. Look, I've seen really, really good shorts and I've seen really, really bad. I think what I'm doing here and showing you is somewhere in the middle. So hopefully this is helpful.
We're in LA right now, right? We could walk out this door and drive for about 10 minutes in any direction and find a ketamine-fueled orgy. We could find women getting gangbanged. We could find dudes fucking each other. You could find people doing all sorts of insanity. None of them are being arrested. None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am. It's because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. They are very aware that they are trying to destroy Western society. They're trying to print as much money as possible so they can steal it. They're trying to bring in as many immigrants as possible to distract us so we fight against each other while they all escape on their life rafts. And they know that young men are the only ones who are going to stand up against them. And telling them to be strong and think for themselves is a national security threat.
So just one more thing. If you're trying to shave off time, this requires a little bit of work, and I'm not going to do that here. But you can see that he's saying trying to destroy Western society. They're trying to print as much money as possible. They're trying. You can take off every time he says they're trying and just leave. They are very aware that they're trying to destroy Western society. Print as much money as possible. Bring in as many immigrants. You can. If he's repeating himself, you can take this off. Just try it. Maybe it sounds better like that. Maybe it doesn't. Remember, you could always click this back button and then undo everything that you did. You just have to play around with it, right? So yeah, if it was me making clips for this, I'd be happy with it. You have to think the stuff that we added on to this, maybe it comes up in another clip that Opus Clips made and it would have been a different hook. You never know, but I think this is perfectly fine. So let's save changes. So yeah. So again, when that is ready, you'll be able to download it. Okay, so this is ready to download. This piece here is download in 4K. I mean, it looks great already. I wouldn't download in 4K. Just high definition is good enough. And yeah, so yeah, look at, this too. Are you happy with this? Am I targeted for doing this? With Andrew Tate, there's probably even a better thing to say. he has some really interesting things to say. But again, I'm not saying I'm a fan or I agree with everything that he says. It's just he's not of a bad speaker, and trust me, there's people all over YouTube. You can tell I'm not the greatest speaker, but it's a little bit easier to work with his clips. I don't even know if the other guy gets a chance to talk, because you can see all the clips are more about him speaking. Like there's one here with him, but yeah. So that's it for today. That's the explanation for this one. So if you're in need of any questions or answers, just hit me up in any comments, and then if you know somebody who needs help with any of this stuff, just share it with them. But yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so just download that, and it will be in your download files. You can go to CapCut and do any other special effects that's not included with Opus Clips, and yeah, just post it, and just do it. If I'm here talking to you guys can do it too. So, all right, have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.